a vast country, a human kaleidoscope of diverse cultures, is a country of remarkable achievements, renowned for its history, scholars, and importance in international affairs.
But for far too long, this great nation has also been stamped by the pain of pervasive poverty.
A nation of over 1 billion people, home to 1/6 of the world's population, India is also home to 1/3 of the world's poor.
But there's promise on the horizon.
India has made great progress since the 80s. It is one of the top 10 performing economies in the world.
It has a robust democracy, a rocketing technology curve, increased life expectancy and literacy, and growing foreign exchange reserves.
Addressing poverty has been high on India's agenda. 20 years back, half its population lived below the internationally accepted poverty line, an income level of less than $1 a day. But today, the proportion has come down to about 1/4.
But it's a huge 1/4, consisting of a staggering 260 million people. At least 80 million of them do not have enough food.
More than 4 million are infected with HIV/AIDS. 500,000, mostly the poor, die of tuberculosis each year. Mother and child mortality also remain major concerns. The challenges are daunting, but India is not alone in its efforts to meet them.
Amongst the leading organizations collaborating with India in its efforts to eradicate poverty is DFID.
DFID, or the Department for International Development, is the British government department responsible for Britain's contribution towards international efforts to eliminate poverty. It works in partnership with governments of developing countries and international development agencies to help realize the shared task of meeting the Millennium Development Goals. Its express objective: to halve world poverty by the year 2015. In India, its vision is being taken forward by DFID India. DFID knows that it has to reach out to rural India. It's where the most far-reaching poverty reduction efforts are needed.
This is a village in Odisha. The apparent tranquility can be quite misleading. It is the silence of extreme poverty in a state where almost 5 out of 10 people live below the poverty line. 90% of them live in the villages. Most of Odisha's poor people are subsistence farmers. Many practice sharecropping, while the poorest scrape together a living through farm labor.
DFID has been working with the government of Odisha for about 20 years. It has been in the forefront of support to the state in the health and power sectors and in fiscal and governance reform. A pivotal DFID-supported project being implemented by the state government since August 2000 is the Western Odisha Rural Livelihoods Project.
The prime objective is to promote livelihood improvements by increasing land and water productivity involving natural resources and non-farm activities and making available better livelihood opportunities for the poorest.
Another key objective is capacity building of communities, Panchayati Raj institutions, NGOs and the government to enable them to work together on poverty-focused programs.
Finally, the project supports work on key issues related to land tenure, administration, and non-timber forest products.
Taking a holistic view of the assets and resources on which rural people base their livelihoods, the project uses the Watershed Plus approach, involving better water management, minor irrigation, drinking water and sanitation, and forestry interventions.
To ensure that the benefits reach the poorest, women and the landless are also included in the village watershed committees.
The 10-year project is expected to benefit more than 725,000 people in 4 districts of the state. Today, the experiences from the project are helping shape other Government of Odisha watershed projects.
Even in the heartland of India, women are today fast taking the center stage in decision-making processes.
The Western India Rain-Fed Farming Project aims to improve the livelihoods of tribal people in parts of 3 Indian states: Gujarat, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh.
The first phase of the project emphasized development of farming systems, focusing on the introduction of new crop varieties, improved livestock breeds, micro-irrigation, tree planting, and joint forest management and soil and water conservation.
An important part of the project is to help develop appropriate technologies for poor farmers. A gender-focused approach has also ensured the active involvement of women in the project.
Veronica Bain is a widow from one of these tribal villages in Jhabua district of Madhya Pradesh. She is a Jankar, the knowledgeable one, a specialist chosen by the villagers from amongst themselves. Veronica has succeeded in developing links between self-help groups and government departments and banks.
In the second phase, project activities have been expanded to reach about 500,000 people in 825 villages. It now also takes into account the pressing need of farming communities to migrate seasonally in search of work.
Recognizing the crucial contribution of seasonal migration to local incomes, the project is treating migration as a positive force for local development.
Its unique migration support program aims to reduce the risk of exploitation of migrant farmers by working closely with muqaddams, local government, gram panchayats, NGOs and the police.
As the results of the project keep filtering in, there is great hope in the air. The distant clouds hold promise, but tribal feet continue to take to their seasonal city trails.
Cities have always been important as centers of power, production, growth and services. They provide a wide range of jobs and the promise of securing both temporary incomes and long-term futures, and a better quality of life.
But they are also home to many poor people. Disease, crime, lack of access to basic necessities like living space, Medicare and education. Urban poverty has a particularly harsh impact on the vulnerable.
One of the earliest DFID projects in India was the Hyderabad Slum Improvement Project.
Andhra Pradesh Urban Services for the Poor, a project that takes a cities without slums approach to urban poverty reduction.
Launched in 1999 and expected to benefit up to 2.2 million people, the £94 million project covers 32 towns of the state. This project takes a city-wide view and seeks to address the issue of urban management and local governance. In each town, a municipal action plan for poverty reduction is prepared in consultation with the public, politicians, and officials.
The project has already led to the introduction of more participative planning processes. It has also helped promote positive changes in the working ways of elected and non-elected officials.
It is making a substantial impact by improving civic services and stimulating self-help initiatives and economic activity in the slums.
Sanitary conditions and the provision of basic services like water and electricity have also improved.
Facilities like e-Seva centers are helping to bridge the digital divide and improve quality of life.
Women now have many more opportunities to earn an income, have greater access to health and educational services for themselves and their children, and the community halls are abuzz with activity.
Armed with these experiences, DFID India has today widened its efforts to take the Cities Without Slums initiative to other states of India.
Kolkata, the cultural nucleus of eastern India, is a city that shares a historically intimate relationship with Britain. Today it is a busy human anvil on which one of the loftiest Millennium Development Goals is being shaped, the goal of primary education for all. The
importance of primary education cannot be overstated. There are strong proven links between sustained primary education and better family health, slower population growth, and increased productivity. India has more than 120 million children aged between 6 to 10 years, the primary school age. 36 million are out of school, and only half complete the full 5 years primary education cycle. About 12% of them belong to one state, West Bengal, and that's where DFID India has zeroed in to make a difference. The West Bengal District Primary Education Project is part of the Government of India's overall effort to provide primary education to all children in India.
DFID is currently supporting the program in 10 districts of West Bengal. Millions of children have already benefited from the project. The project also lays emphasis on alternative forms of education and extending learning opportunities to out-of-school and working children.
DFID India's support and intervention in West Bengal is today helping to bring down the teacher-pupil ratio from one teacher for every 250 children to one for every 50. Its support is also helping improve learning material and the maintenance and expansion of school buildings, and providing hundreds of schools in areas without educational facilities.
DFID is contributing over £177 million to various education projects across India.
Today, when little Gauri puts 2 plus 2 together on her slate, her poor parents can afford to believe that one day it will add up to a lot more. When Bano Bibi visits the health center near her poor settlement in Hyderabad, she knows that things are getting healthier. When in Limdihi, in Orissa, Gopinath Bhoy uses a treadle pump, he can hope to cross the watershed of poverty. When Raju Devi makes a point at her village panchayat in Imlipara, many can hear in it the echoes of a new song of success. Throughout the country, DFID is working closely with the national and state governments, institutions, NGOs, local bodies, and self-help groups in a wide range of activities and projects. The road is not easy, but by helping strengthen partnerships with the poorest of the poor, DFID is changing lives and making a difference, positively and permanently.